My friends, I am completely, utterly fucking lost over what exactly it is that Brad Stevens is thinking by pulling off this Jaylen Brown trade. I can make sense of each of the significant trades that happened this offseason so far. Hell, even one that was maybe a tick below the Walker Kessler deal. I get it. I do. Okay, this is trying to pander to Luka so he sticks around in a couple years when he's a free agent. This gives them a legit young center, somebody that can clog the middle, something they haven't had since they traded Anthony Davis. And 2 first-round picks. Was it steep? Sure. Absolutely. But the Lakers plan on, I guess, competing with Luka. Even life without LeBron, they plan on competing. So, probability is they're thinking those picks are going to be in the lower half of the first round. The John Morant trade, I scratched my head a little bit as to what Portland might be thinking. But then I pondered it, and they're hoping that a change of scenery does him some good. That maybe we can get glimpses of what we saw from Ja when he was first drafted by the Grizzlies out of Murray State. And frankly, they didn't give up a damn thing to get him. I mean, Jeremy Grant was a terrible contract that they never should have handed out to begin with. So they got him off the books. And Chris Murray, a former first-round pick that hasn't panned out. I mean, yeah, they take in more money, but at least at one point, Ja has shown he has superstar potential. So hopefully they can reel it in and get him to go back to that style of play and hope and pray that he cuts the off-the-court bullshit. So basically, Portland got rid of their nothings for what Memphis thought was a nothing. So sunk cost for sunk cost. The Kawhi Leonard for Brandon Ingram plus trade makes a ton of sense for both teams. I can't make sense of this. And this is not a stupid person calling the shots in Boston. Brad Stevens is a genius. Brad Stevens has made a lot of great moves in his career. This isn't one of them. This, I'm not going to use hyperbole and call it the worst trade in NBA history. Ironically enough, Paul George is part of the deal. Paul George is the name who was part of the worst trade in NBA history when he was traded to the Clippers for SGA and multiple draft picks. One of them turned out to be J-Dub, Jalen Williams. So anytime Paul George gets traded, it's a fucking fiasco that's embarrassing. So again, I'm not going to rank this trade up as even a worse Paul George deal, but it is mind-blowing. It is. There has to be something going on with Jaylen Brown and the Celtics organization. That relationship had to be toxic to the point of no return. And enough people must have got wind of how bad things were to where his value sunk, because there is no other rhyme, reason, nor logic how I can explain this fucking deal. Paul George, 2 first-round picks in 2 seconds for Jaylen Brown. Okay. In 2 seasons in Philadelphia, Paul George has seen his numbers drastically drop. And he hasn't played a full season. He played 41 games in 2024-2025. He played 37 this year. Yeah. So we're talking 78 games. That's barely over a full season. The Sixers wanted off this contract. They wanted off the contract badly. And this was sort of like a Ja Morant, I thought, coming in, to where, look, if they'd have got something with a pulse, it would have been a win. They get Jaylen fucking Brown. And if you don't think for 1 minute, people sitting there saying, well, Brown wanted his own team, he's not going to get that in Philadelphia. If you don't think he's going to have a fire up his ass to stick it to the Boston Celtics, especially the fact that they thought so little of him, that they traded him to their arch rival for this lump of shit package, just wait, just watch. You put Jaylen Brown in a lineup with Maxey, with Edgecombe, with, I'm assuming, one more go with Joel Embiid. Hopefully he gets a firelit under his ass. Holy fuck, this is a nasty team. This is a dangerous team. And in the East, which is the Knicks and a bunch of everybody else very wide open. They just became a title contender, and they gave up nothing to get this piece. Yeah, he's a free agent next year. Sixers cleared up a bunch of cap space. They'll re-sign him. No doubt in my mind. Again, I won't call this the worst trade in NBA history. I won't even call it the worst Paul George trade. But this is fucking terrible. We'll have to see how it ages out. I mean, maybe Brown decides fuck Philadelphia and leaves at the end of the year. Even if that is the case, so fucking what? What did the Sixers give up? Again, I don't get it. I don't understand Brad Stevens' mindset. And I don't think I ever will. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, if you're a Sixers fan, I am jumping for joy right now. I am. To not only get a player of Brown's caliber, but to fleece your division rival, your arch rival. Yeah. Enough said. Thanks for listening.